Stan Lee's MCU cameos are getting their own Funko Pops. You know that Funko Pops rule the world at this point. If you're collecting, you probably have a Funko Pop somewhere. I remember my first Funko Pop, and I don't even know what it is because I don't collect them, but I know a lot of people do. It was a Lando Calrissian Funko Pop because Lando Calrissian is awesome. So that was back in like 2009, something like that, when I got that one. Funko has announced that they're releasing a new line of pop vinyl figures celebrating the many MCU cameos of the legendary Stan Lee. Fan favorites collectibles pop vinyls have become absolutely huge in the geek community, with fans collecting dozens of the cute little figurines. Funko continues to release collections. Funko's has even moved on to pop culture characters and into the world of real life figures. James Gunn, director of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, has his own pop vinyl figure and is not the only one. New to the toy company has announced they will be releasing a series of Stan Lee figures celebrating some of the cameos and Marvel films. Funko made an announcement on their blog along with the images of 3 pop vinyls that will be made available in stores next month. These will be Walmart exclusive run and 3 shown of And the 3 shown are Stan Lee's cameos as a military captain in Captain America, the First Avenger, a security guard in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and as Xandarian in Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's see if they've got the Funko Pops in here. If it will scroll down. Okay. Apparently not. So, let me know what you think about the Funko Pops. I think it's kind of funny that Stan Lee is getting his own, but hey, he is the man, the myth, the legend, Stan Lee. So who else deserves it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think Stan Lee deserves his own Funko Pops. Now this was interesting. Something that Derek Daniels sent me for this week. Samuel L. Jackson is teaching an online acting class. Samuel L. Jackson is going to teach an online acting class in collaboration with Masterclass. Over the past quarter century, Jackson has gone from obscure character actor to the highest grossing movie star of all time, including every film he's ever appeared in. Jackson, who has appeared in multiple Star Wars and MCU films, as well as multiple films directed by Quentin Tarantino and Spike Lee, is the only actor in history whose movies have earned a cumulative total exceeding $5 billion. He and Harrison Ford have spent the last couple of years trading the top spot on that list. He's 68 years old? Oh, wow. I would not have thought that. The 68-year-old Jackson has also branched out into movie acting, narrating acclaimed Oscar-nominated documentary, that one, and appearing in commercials for Apple and Capital One. He even voiced the book-on-tape version of the satirical children's book, Go the F to Sleep. Now Jackson is planning to give back by teaching his craft to others. The likes of Kevin Spacey, Martin Scorsese, Dustin Hoffman, Shonda Rhimes have taught such classes throughout the master class. Also, Hans Zimmer does one for composition. I want to say Dead Mouse, whatever his name, Dedimus, whatever. It does one as well. What is it? Steve Martin does a comedy one. So it's pretty interesting that he is going to be doing one. Sorry if any kind of sound popped up right there. Now, the next story is pretty interesting because we thought that we weren't going to be getting this one. Okay? And I'm curious to see how long this lasts, if it does go through and everything. The Deathstroke movie starring Joe Manganiello, I am bad at pronouncing, everybody, reportedly is in the works from the Raid director Gareth Evans. Last year, Ben Affleck shared a cryptic tweet featuring Joe suited up as Deathstroke, and it took no time at all for us to learn that the character was set to take center stage in The Batman. Since then, big changes have been made, and Affleck has been replaced as a movie director by Matt Reeves. He's ditched Affleck's and John's script to work on a new one, unlikely, and to include Slade Wilson. Despite all of that drama, we have some good news for both Joe and fans of the anti-hero, as it had been revealed today that the Raid helmer Gareth Evans is in talks to write and direct a Deathstroke movie, which will star the Magic Mike actor. Evans passed on directing Justice League Dark, but his Deathstroke pitch actually impressed DC Entertainment executives enough to get its own green light. Both Raid and its sequel feature jaw-dropping fight scenes, which will fit in with this movie like this. How it will fit into the wider DC film universe remains to be seen, especially as the studio is now developing standalone features too. Regardless, it's good to hear that the character is getting his due and that Joe will be given the opportunity to play the character he was cast for all those months ago. So it's interesting to see that this is happening. I'm not actually shocked that it is happening, but it's a good thing because I think he would do well as that. And Deathstroke is very popular because of the wonderful Arrow show. I wish they would have cast Mono Bennett. I can wish all day long, but it's not going to happen. But this makes me happy because we're going to get this movie. And if you don't know the whole story about the DC universe and everything, Justice League is pretty much going to exist in its own thing, and they're going to start doing standalone movies the whole time. So I'm curious to see how this all works. DC is doing some interesting stuff for sure, but we'll all see what happens there. Next article, Daredevil Kingpin is back for season 3. New showrunner has been named. The upcoming third season of Daredevil will have a familiar villain returning to Hell's Kitchen. Deadline reports Vincent D'Onofrio will reprise his role as Wilson Fisk / Kingpin. To cause more trouble for Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox, it is not yet known how heavily Kingpin will be featured in season 3. Hopefully a lot. He was wonderful in season 1. Kingpin served as the main antagonist on the first season of the show and also showed up in season 2, interacting with Frank Castle, John Bernthal while in prison. Season 3 will also have a showrunner in Eric Olson, who served as the executive producer on The Man in the High Castle. Olson will take over Douglas Petrie and Marco Ramirez, who were showrunners for season 2 and eventually moved on to work on The Defenders. So I'm excited for this. Kingpin, great character. Man in the High Castle, I've heard nothing but good things about that show, so I'm looking forward to it. One thing that people aren't looking forward to, and I'm not either, IMAX says that Inhuman screenings were a mistake. The CEO of IMAX admits that screening Inhumans in theaters was a poorly executed move. The prospect of Inhumans was tricky even when it was planned to be overseen by Kevin Feige as a movie starring Vin Diesel. The characters have a great deal of backstory and even in the comics don't have a sizable audience. Without a comedic hook like Guardians, there was no telling how well the Inhumans film would have done. Still, it would have had the signature Marvel touch and likely a strong director and cast attached. That all changed when Inhumans was transformed into a TV show. After ABC landed the series, Inhumans gained a co-producer in IMAX, which decided to play the first 2 episodes of the show in their theaters. The initiative sounded like an interesting pairing and large format innovators with Marvel name. Sadly, the final result was a lackluster affair that failed to drive much business towards IMAX screens. Now the head of the company has spoken out about the decision and what he thinks. Deadline talked to IMAX CEO Rich Gelfond and about what went wrong with Inhumans, offering the first concrete explanation of the show's failure from someone inside the series. While Gelfond didn't discuss the merits of Inhuman as a TV show, he did admit that the failure to match audience expectation led to the unsuccessful screenings. Customers expected a production akin to the mega-budget blockbuster movies rather than the pilots for a television show. Moreover, the fact that this was a Marvel IP set the bar at a level you wouldn't see from any other piece of content or IP because of the reputation, the high production value of Marvel movies. So what we're dealing with right here is high expectations. They rushed Inhumans. They poorly budgeted Inhumans. They didn't put the right staffing with it. And Inhumans should be one of those things that everybody looks at and learns from. You look at the Star Wars Christmas special. People should have learned from that. You look at the first episode of the Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, people learn from these things, but apparently history is repeating itself and on a much, much bigger scale here. I hate that this has happened, but it also shows that Marvel can strike out at times and that they should have picked something that is has a bigger base for people, that has more people that want to watch it. And Disney even saved Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from being canceled by ABC. So it says a lot about what Marvel is willing to do to keep their shows going. But at the same time, they're not willing to put in money when they've got tons of money. We all know this. They got tons of money to save the show or make it better. So it's kind of a sad thing, in my opinion, that they wouldn't put the money forth for all of that. So there's all the news for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do want one of these awesome t-shirts, I got a new Nerd Cave t-shirt. All you have to do is go over to Teespring. It is teespring.com/stores/nerdcave and get one of these awesome shirts. Any shirt bought also helps the Nerd Cave. We get a portion of those proceeds and everything, and it gets shipped straight to you as soon as it's done. So definitely, go support us, get these awesome t-shirts and all of that good stuff. And if you want all of this wonderful podcast and all of our other content early, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/nerdcave. Toss us a few dollars. You can get Let's Plays a week early before anybody else sees them in the world. You can also get the podcast early. We stream each and every week to our patron saints. So you could get this before it's all edited and pretty and everything. But we do have a pre-show that we just kind of discuss with everybody. So you can definitely check that out. And if you want, you can support us at higher levels. You can get the audio version before 4 days before everybody else. You can get the video version with all the lower thirds and all the nice graphics and all that good stuff. All you got to do is go support us. You can be a Patreon producer and all that good stuff. So, and shout out to all the people that supported us. And thank you, everybody, for coming out to the community game night that we had. We'll be looking at a new one for this month. So it's going to be a very, very fun month. A lot of great games coming out. So there's going to be a lot of good game coverage and Let's Plays over on Nerd Cave Gaming. So check that out. And thank you all for joining us for 230 of these. Who would have imagined a few years ago that we'd be making this each and every week and get up to 230 of these? Because it's definitely a lot of podcast, a lot of film. A lot of stuff. So thank you all for supporting us, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure that you subscribe to all the places. We've got Twitch, we've got YouTube, we've got Facebook, we got a Facebook group, we got a Facebook page. We got it all. And if you're a video watcher, go over to iTunes, subscribe there, download there, rate us there. If you're just on iTunes, then go to YouTube, subscribe to us there. Do all of that, because all of it helps. The more people will see and you share and everything, the better it is for us, because we get more people watching and the community grows. And that's the one thing that I really love about the Nerd Cave is the community that we have. We have a lot of awesome people, and it just makes it worth it because of everybody that's involved with it. So thanks everybody for watching the live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're listening on the recording and everything, this has been Zach, and have a week.